You are listening to Deconstruction Podcast, presented by the Architectural Authority magazine.
I believe that the space that's around us either propels us or it diminishes our ability to succeed. And it's not just a material success and a success of achievements, but our own growth and evolution as human beings. And space has such a deep power to influence that. And as soon as I realized that that was possible to create that effect, whoever I worked with, whether it was a family or a business, and to expand that, right? Like space has the ability to expand the purpose that you set for it. And it's magnificent. And for those that can see it, it's such a powerful tool.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Consulting and Engineering. Since 2010, Paramount has over 4,000 projects completed across Florida and the Caribbean. From building envelope consulting and structural design to special threshold and forensic inspections, Paramount delivers precise, reliable solutions backed by experience, expertise, and results you can trust.
This is Deconstruction, a space where we explore the ideas shaping the built environment and how our industry impacts the human well-being. My guest today is Veronica Barney, founder of Veronica Design Studio, an interior design whose work explores the relationship between design, psychology, and the ways space shape human experience. Welcome, Veronica.
Gracias. Thank you. Thank you, Adri.
Thank you. We're so happy to be in this space together. And I think whatever emerged from this conversation is going to be wonderful.
Yes. It's been long awaited.
It's been long waited, and it's been kind of, we have been waiting for be guided to the perfect words and the perfect message that we together are going to convey here in this space. So welcome to your energy and all of your gifts that will be expressed through these cameras and will be listened to for our audience that it's just eager to have people align and talking about the different ways that we could see our role in our industry.
It's an honor to be here. And before we begin all of you asking me all these questions, I just want to say that you are such a force and such an inspiration. And it's a huge honor for me to be here because you encompass what it is to be deep into academia and understanding concepts, but also going even deeper than that into the transformation of your own self and what emerges from that and how you give that back to the world. So I am just over the moon to be sharing this space with you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm so glad that we can connect in the same language. And I do feel so grateful through finding my own authenticity, I can connect and get closer to special people like you that are doing beautiful things in the world, and they don't just center into their specific role in your career, like an interior designer, but in other different beautiful incentives that you are doing to make everything better around you. That's beautiful. So let's start about what do you really think about the impact of design in the humans? What do you think with your forces and through your gifts you are making a difference?
I believe that the space that's around us either propels us or it diminishes our ability to succeed. And it's not just a material success and a success of achievements, but our own growth and evolution as human beings. And space has such a deep power to influence that. And as soon as I realized that that was possible to create that effect, whoever I worked with, whether it was a family or a business, and to expand that, right? Like space has the ability to expand the purpose that you set for it. And it's magnificent. And for those that can see it, it's such a powerful tool.
Totally, totally. And we have been in the extension of this podcast this last season. We have been working with different people that is infusing the same concept of how the space impact us from different angles, right? So in this case, I wanted to discuss with you, of course, the psychological angle and the spiritual angle, of course, of how the shell, the materia, the way that the geometry, everything that we surround ourselves will actually um, change the perception of how we live and how we feel and the way that we relate with the rest of the people that is habitating the same space, because it's about psychology, it's about color, it's about texture, it's about many things. So where the Veronica process starts, with how you start with your clients and how you infuse all of this knowledge that you carry into your work.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll I'll get to answer that question, but I wanted to go back a little bit because this is all such a new topic of what we're talking about. And if you look in history, like interior design is not a career that has been standing for that long. It's only
Mm,
been about a century. Like we started with Eloise DeWolf, and then what was her name? Miss Draper. And the psychology piece came around in the 50s,
mm,
and only towards the 90s has it actually been integrated into how we look at design, where we start moving beyond aesthetics and realize how the environmental piece affects us on a sensory level.
correct.
So it's now, now we are in 2025, and those concepts are still being integrated into the field of interior design. And for clients, it's even a newer concept because before it's just, okay, I have a box, I need to live in it. What's the layout going to be? What are the functions that I need to have in this home? And how are we going to bring that about? But then very later on, or almost never, do we actually think about the soul evolution of the person that's inhabiting that space.
Correct.
And what I love to do, so I come from a psychological background and also a business background. And I love to take the time to have deep conversations with my clients, like a long interview, because I want to get to know their past,
Hmm.
the challenges that they've had, what they're excited about, what traumas they may be healing from, because all of that will inform what I decide or what I suggest for them. This is what would most benefit you in this space. And it also happens through behavioral observation. And it's a joy to bring in the individual. It's not, let's just work with the blueprint, but where are you? And that can be completely different from where someone else is in their path.
Correct.
You may both like minimalism or Art Deco, but the way that it's going to be expressed for you will be very different because of your energy of that past, all those things.
Totally, and everybody has its own. The brain is a translator, right? And the translator is influenced by experience. So everybody is influenced, or the layers that translate reality is through their own experience.
Exactly.
So regardless, this is a
Mm.
12 by 10 room that we are going to
Mhm.
design for two different people. The experiences and their goals and their, the actual soul work, it has
Mhm.
to be identified by
Yeah.
someone,
Yeah.
and they had to let that process, emerge.
Mhm.
One of the beauties about the wellness movement now, which is, I will say now, is the not as a word, but as the awareness that our body is responding to everything. And if we see our bodies, and if we are conscious of how we feel,
Mm.
then we can be more responsive to our needs, no?
Exactly.
So the design community is now having the enough tools to join, or to converge data of how we feel with the actual materiality of the space, and giving responses to these needs in a physical way.
Mhm.
So I do believe that we are doing fantastic. Yes, it's very short. It's very recent. But I think the people is ready. Like the customers are ready. They are
Mhm.
asking for this type of interventions. They want to have a designer that sits with them. And okay, what do you want to do? What is the purpose of this space? How do you want to feel here? No,
Mhm.
and the materials. And so how is the way that Veronica got to this, uh, uh, the unique way of Veronica designing, how you got into it?
Yeah, it's a crazy story. I never thought that I would be an interior designer. Similar to you, like my mom was an engineer. My grandfather was a lawyer, and they all came from very distinct fields, but none of them were artistic. And for me to
Exactly.
even fathom that I could have a creative career was just like not even in the book. So I went to school for business administration, got my bachelor's in science in business administration, and I went into that field. I enjoyed it. My mind is very like sequential, and I love operations and seeing how things connect and how you need all of these subsequent lines to get to one purpose. So all of that worked for me, and finances and numbers, all of that. And I was very good at it, but there was no joy. It was like,
Mm.
like, I know I'm here for, like, a deeper purpose, and,
There
like,
is something
spirituality
else.
was always in the background. It was a very strong line within my own journey in life, but I didn't feel the calling that that was, like, the main thing that I was gonna do, right?
Hmm.
And I had this 1 week at work where I was just like feeling so suffocated. And I said, okay, God, whatever is out there, like, can I just have something that I
Give me a
will
clue.
feel excited for and joy for? Like, show me what I'm here to do. And
Qué bello.
soon after that, we had remodeled our first home, and we had just like shared some photos online about the remodel process. And I had a friend that wrote to me. He didn't even come to the housewarming, and he sent me a video of his newly purchased property, and he was like, "Veronica, I want you to come and design it. I saw what you did with your place. Please come and, give me a plan, all of that stuff."
Bring your magic here.
And I was like, I had already done an interior design project on a much bigger scale, but I totally had discarded that experience because, again, it was like, I can't do this. Like, no, I need to stay in this lane because this is how I will survive and make a living. And after I got done with that friend and remodeling his property, it was so clear to me because every day it was different, a different challenge with a supplier, the GC. How are we going to do
Decisions
this?
impacting.
Moving him and all of the pieces that needed to work in order to, deliver his property at a certain date as he was moving back in, all of that. And it was so fun, and, like, I love figuring out the challenge and,
Mhm.
making phone calls and knowing that, one day I was gonna be working from home and the other day I was gonna be, elsewhere and at the job site, all of that. And I took a pause after that job finished, and I was like, "What just happened?" And, like,
Exactly.
did I just find, like, something that was so incredibly fulfilling? And I asked myself, I'm like, "Can this really be true? Can I, like, extend this sense of joy and fulfillment?" Like,
Oh my
and it's
God.
been now almost 10 years, and I'm
Wow.
still
Wow.
extremely passionate about it and continue learning every day because it's,
Exactly. It's exciting. And
it's so exciting.
it's for me it's beautiful that people can see um professionals that are passionate about what they do, because I
Mhm.
do truly believe that when we follow our passion, the impact that we create in the world is just exponential.
Mhm.
Only the joy where you show up
Mm.
will influence every single decision that you make, will affect their lives and your life, because you are, living a fulfilled life.
Mm.
And I encourage everybody that has a fear of jumping from one career to the other one, or it's fearful to what will sustain them into that change, to trust. to trust there is a bigger force that will sustain them through the process because we are meant to do what we love. We are meant to do this, and we are meant to be here expressing and this at this very moment expressing our love of what we do, and making clear that different ways of doing it are possible too, because there is not only the materialistic part of the design and the money and the tools that you need to learn in order to be successful in one process, and the fact that you were into numbers before make you capable of handling the second process, so nothing happens by chance. That everything was everything was a linear process that gave you the whole tool set that you needed to being able to embrace this phase, and now being happy doing it. Nobody told us that every day will be rainbows and unicorns, but the majority of the days when we do what we love, we wake up cheerful. We wake up to a different scenario, a different client, a different challenge, that through your thought process and through your tools and gifts, you will give a better resolution that you were doing before in your computer doing some math, right?
For sure.
For sure, right?
And when a challenge comes, it's okay. Well, this is an opportunity. And when I'm able to go through it and surmount this, I will come out the other side even better. And not just me, but everyone that was involved in that process.
Exactly. And part of the change that I've been seeing into the industry, and this is something that I've been seeing through the interviews and my own experience as a contractor, is that more of vendors, designers, architects, and the actual builders are already aware there are more materials or different systems that can be better for us. So with more people evaluating and bringing different alternatives to the table, the role of different people in our industry will also be affected, because contractors will be given information from designers. Okay, no, look, this material is more, VOC, like all of the thought process behind the selection of materials, behind the layout, behind the different vendors that you bring into the table, because it's not only the type of flooring, it's also the energy and the alignment with the company that is, fair trading a product or bringing to the table that, different way of making a transaction. Not because it's everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all interconnected. And I love the fact that you mentioned even the energy with which a project gets done, how that chair gets placed there, how the artwork is hung up, all of that carries an imprint. And like on a deep level, we are energetic beings, and we are actually resonating with all of those pieces of information, whether we realize it or not. Like it's
Totally.
affecting us on a subconscious level before our cognition actually catches up, and it's like, oh, like I feel this way. And we were talking earlier during coffee, the responsibility that we have to foster that culture of caring and of kindness and of knowing that we're deeply affecting every single human being that is part of the entire loop that makes a project happen.
Exactly. And it's and I do believe that we usually forget how impactful our work is, and the responsibility that we carry, and making us better, being, taking care of the way that we show up to work, that we show up to our clients. It's the only, it's a path that we need to go through to being able to produce a better result for them and for everybody. So going back to Veronica's way, when you get into the client and then you create this, long interview, what are the points? What are the points that you grasp? It's about the feeling. It's about like walk me through that thought process, and with honesty, because that's what makes you who you are, and the difference of the success that you're having. So walk me through the process of Veronica and how she thinks when she meets a client.
Yeah, that's a very interesting answer. um, I will start by saying that a person will remember not so much the product that you deliver, let's say after 10, 15 years,
Hmm.
but they will remember how you were with them.
The emotional part.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that is what lingers in their mind. And my first responsibility, not just as a professional, but just as a pillar within myself, is kindness and is meeting
Mm.
people where they are and understanding their life in that stage. And so before I talk to a client, I like to get as much information as I can from whether it's their social media or their bio, their LinkedIn, so I can start building a picture and tapping into some psychological cues that may prompt me to ask deeper questions about specific things. So it's very individualized, and it's also like, okay, God, higher power, help me lead this conversation to extract whatever will touch and be most meaningful to the client. So we can take that information from them, from their spouse, from, their love journey, their business journey, whatever is most meaningful for them, because that is what will make the design most authentic.
Hmm. And respond to their actual needs, because sometimes they don't even know what they need.
Yeah.
They know that they are not comfortable in their space, and they kind of know about certain colors that they like. They don't know why they like them, because this is specific to every single human experience, if you like the red or not, or you reject it. But understanding their pain, like, okay, I cannot focus, or I cannot sleep, or understanding their pain will lead at the beginning, the first responses. But it's the psychological part of understanding them, because it's not for everybody using a poppy color in the living room. And then that the book says, okay, poppy colors like red, like it will bring happiness. Sometimes people reject those colors, so it's not as simple as reading a book. The the interconnectedness and the relational part of knowing the customer, and getting to literally try to translate their words into a proposal, is that it's the most difficult part of the project. The estimating, finding the real people, meeting the budget, etc. Those are things that are consequential, that they are part of the a process, but they will not guarantee the success of the intervention. What will guarantee the success of the intervention is that you can interpret the client's pain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. It's it's an honor for me whenever I start working with a client to be able to be that bridge, because I don't feel like encounters happen at random. It's
Mm.
like, okay, if you met me and you felt called to hire me as your interior designer, there is this sacred relationship that is there that's bound to happen. And I am so there to honor that, right? And taking time to hear them and to even sometimes go deeper behind their words to see where they're living now. What
Ac-
cues can I pick up from that? What are they telling me that they like? Okay, if they're showing me nice pictures on Pinterest or whatever they send me, um, and then stepping back and, okay, with all of these cues, how are we going to inform the design? And of course, the sustainability choices are so front of the line because they do connect us deeper with the environment, and we are living in a world that is slowly decaying, and that
Mhm.
is not something that's going to go away by praying about it. Like, we have to
Correct.
act on it. And I think one piece of our responsibility is informing the clients that these options are available, so now they ask you for them, and maybe a future project that they have, okay, where are these more alternative, environmentally friendly solutions that I can apply and use in my home? also bioformic objects, shapes, all of that, is part of biophilia
Exactly.
and will make us feel more grounded. And that is an aspect that now with new development and everything leaning towards being so modern is an aspect of our heritage that we tend to forget,
Mm-hmm.
and that we're in this beautiful glass box, so to speak, but we feel disconnected.
Correct.
And yeah, honoring where do we come from? I always think, you should have something in your home that honors your heritage,
Yeah,
whether
ancestry.
is whether that is through the schematic design or that specific object, or maybe it's the color in your kitchen that reminds you of the color
Mm-hmm.
that your grandmother had in her kitchen. Like small things like that, because we have to be anchored in something. If we don't have some foundation, then it's like you're in the present, but you're a product of the past. And where is your past, and how are you honoring that so that you can get to the future and the most evolved version of you?
Fantastic. I do, resonate with everything that you just said. Um, Tell me a little bit about one of the projects that you feel more proud of, like the connect yourself with that, and tell me why. Like, tell me a little bit of the project, and tell me why you feel like you created an impact, and let's go there.
Proud of. Hmm.
One that you truly believe that you created an impact in the customer, because for me this is, now this is what we are leaning towards. Like, okay, what is the impact that I'm creating in the world? Like, little, it's one family at a time, one client at a time, one product at a time, no?
Yeah. So one project that I'm really proud of, and it's actually being built right now,
What?
is a dance studio, and it's kind of
Wow.
a confidential project, so I can't say a whole lot about it. But it is a member of the community that has given so much to um, that that interest that is his field, and there wasn't a space where he could share that with the community before. There was a very
Love it.
small space, but his vision was so much larger.
Love it.
And for me, it was such a great honor to sit with him, to talk to him, to go back to like when he started feeling this passion and what his
Really.
journey has been. And the millions, maybe not millions, but hundreds of students that have trained under him that have completely expanded their world because of his influence.
Wow.
And now, like, what a responsibility it is to take that and now put it into a design. How are the walls going to look? What's the molding going to be like? What's the colors? What's the
Everything.
flow? What are pictures or memorabilia that we will have that will honor that what he's created?
Totally.
And yeah, that is I am
Wow,
itching
qué
to see
bello.
it
We
completely done.
we usually forget that we spend 90% of our lives indoors, and
Yes.
it's not casualty that we are, as in our industry, we are coming into the understanding of the impact that we create when you walk into a cathedral, when you walk into the Colosseum, the emotions that you feel, the way that your whole body reacts, is something that's a designer co-created
Yes.
with the purpose of someone, in this case, of the mission of this client of yours, and translated through your gift, because it's an idea. If you don't have the right team and the right tools, cannot be transformed into a reality. So our gift, and responsibility at the same time, is to help people translate or transform their ideas into beautiful reality so they can keep impacting.
Absolutely.
So it's
Yes.
it's
Yep.
it's 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 unbelievable, the impact that we have. And I will go further, not only on the sustainability part of it. But now we are more conscious about how everything impacts our health. It's not only not damaging the environment, it's how everything is impacting our health.
Yeah.
We forgot about us within those glass boxes long time ago, because the industrialization created this mechanical efficient way of building that negates, like rejects or masquerade the ancestral ways of building, the ways that we used to connect with the land, with the geography, with the sun, with the wind, with the biophilia around us. And I'm so excited to see that designers are going back there, and they are studying every single one their own, responding to their own ancestral calling, because it's Mexicans, it's Peruvians, it's Colombians, and Venezuelans, and Spanish people. Like, everybody's going back to the roots and symbology and materials and all of that we just got blurred by industrialization and by we don't have to blame anybody. It was evolution, right? And now the evolution is using technology merged with that ancestral knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, we are not going back in terms of building tikis. No, we are merging that knowledge, that everything that we learn, the symbology, what makes our brain to feel comfortable, home, safe, is contained, no, and translate that into design with the materials available today, with the technology available today. So our responsibility is huge. Our responsibility is huge, because we cannot go back to live into the caves.
Absolutely.
And to support the new human evolution.
There's so much wisdom in the past, and sometimes we are blindsided or very persuaded by the bright lights, whatever's the newest shiny object. But we forget that sometimes, most of the time, that's not actually what is going to make us happy, because it doesn't have a purpose. Like, if you're doing something without a purpose, without a deeper purpose of happiness, of joy, of expansion, then it's kind of empty. And I draw a lot from history and from those ancestral ways of doing things to inform what I bring forth today.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, and super responsible. What would you say that would be a recommendation for the emerging designers and people in the industry from Veronica, to help them, build their careers and find their way of doing it, because everybody has his own gift, to give back, to participate?
Yeah. I think first and foremost, what I said earlier, that aspect of kindness, because people really do remember not so much the delivered product, but how you were with them. I think that love aspect creates such an enormous ripple effect that we just, because we're so focused on materiality, we forget how much that impacts the heart and how that reverberates everywhere else. And to embrace those unique gifts. Like, for me, you were such an inspiration for me to dig
Thank
in
you.
deeper into the spiritual connection to design, and have those two things gathered, and not like one negates the other, but how do we bring them together, because they do coexist and can make something even greater, right?
Beautiful.
And I thank you so much for that, and like for
No,
you
thank
creating
Lemon.
this space where you have talked to so many incredible people that are, so
you.
passionate about this is completely amazing. I didn't have that growing up at all. So, yeah.
No, thank you. Thank you for the recognition of the work that is being done here in this beautiful space that we are going to miss. The my happiness a few years ago, because I was in a dark spot to understand that I could use the my tools that I have learned through my career to infusing them with my newly uh, recognized or awakened spirit connection with spirit, um, was so liberating for me.
Mm.
And when I understood that those two things could coexist and not even coexist, they will um, elevate both. Was the purpose, not because when I found spirituality, I started questioning my career, and then I was say, okay, I couldn't be just so confused in my life because I've been doing this for plus 30 years. So I couldn't not be so how can I just elevate the way that I do this using this as the new core?
Mhm.
And that transformation is still going on, and I'm rebuilding my different initiatives, and I'm speaking in a different way so I can try to convey that everything that we do in the matter is the response of something above,
Mm.
and something that can create an impact that we don't, not everybody or our clients will understand, but we are here to be the arms that execute it. We are here to translate. We are here to index all the story, all the wisdom, and connect it to the new, so we can create something that is going to be the evolution of all the careers that we are in play, no, in this industry. And I am so grateful for having people like you here that is vulnerable enough to sit here and talk about the reality of how their process is and why it's different, and why people follow you and want to work with you and feel so connected because they understand and feel. Maybe there is no data now, but there is, the data is the feeling
Mm.
that they get when they talk to you and the result, and then they understand that you are working for the better um, uh, goal. No, you are trying to understand them so you can provide whatever they need, whether you know it or they don't. No, like it's a whole process of working together, and for that part is also being vulnerable because they need to talk to you openly. They need to tell you really what are their pains, and you need to, okay, look, this is not right. The budget is not appropriate. You need to do this, and the real problem is that. And sometimes that's difficult, no?
Yeah.
So it's we need to be very I will say courageous to work in this field with that spirit.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. I feel like it's always very amusing to the clients when I start asking them deeper questions, because for them, it's like, oh, I hire an interior designer just so they can tell me how to paint, how to do the layout, which furniture I should have. But then they realize, oh, I get to include myself into this process and all of my problems, and it's okay. And for
Exactly.
me, it's like, yes, like bring it on, because that is what will give me everything that I need to actually give you what your soul needs,
Correct.
not what you desire, because sometimes that's very superficial, but actually what you need to continue growing, because you are meant to become even more. And it's also understanding that we go through different phases. So, how your home looked 5 years ago may have benefited you at that point, but where are you in life now and what do you need?
Your interest, your things, and that leads me to, like, I will say the final question is how you are seeing the transitions of the people needs in their homes from 5 years ago to now, because it's been a huge change of what people is asking for their, for their private spaces now. So what do you think it's been drawn in?
A shift that I've seen and I'm very happy to be seeing is my clients, at least, they're shifting a little bit away from wanting everything to be like a trend on social media to how do I honor the space and maybe like the year in which the house was built, and
Wow.
incorporating, heritage and period accurate materials. And yes, blending in with modern elements, but creating that connection between what was and what is and can be. And I think that is so valuable because in the end, it will lead them to live in a home that's much more integrated, and they will
Authentic.
feel more secure. They will have um, more of that experience of having a calm nervous system
Mm.
because we're using materials that are grounded and that
Mhm.
are authentic. And I love seeing that.
And what do you think in terms of functionalities? What new features are houses and homeowners being asking you, like spas, like outdoor kitchens, or what is a new thing that they are realizing, because it's the
Yeah.
space for meditation or the craft rooms, like what is it in
Yeah.
the space that it's being called in?
Yeah. I would say one, meditation corners for sure, because people are recognizing, the value of aligning yourself. Two, because of the faster world that we live in now, people are realizing that they can have more time to explore other interests. So maybe it's a craft room, or it's a carpentry studio or an art studio,
Fantastical.
and also just more spaces to gather. We live in a very disconnected environment. Social media brings us in theory close, but at the same time can produce such a sense of isolation. And having actual contact with other human beings and creating those spaces that foster that, whether it's gardens, whether it's community tables,
Hmm.
they want that, and they realize, yes, it's in a relationship where happiness and fulfillment comes from, not just an accumulation of things.
Fantastic, fantastic. Vero, we are ending this. So, what do you think? What's the message that you want to convey to the emerging designers, the people that is going to listen to you, based on everything that we have been discussing?
Act from inspiration. Allow
Wow.
yourself to be inspired. um, Learn from others. I mean, yeah, I've learned so much from you, and I value that
Beautiful.
deeply, deeply. Yeah, and just let yourself be guided. You will get to the clients that are meant to work for you, the relationships that you will build, which are so important. You will be guided to what that is. If you recognize, yes, I have a purpose and I have a responsibility, and I am here to give my light, however that may look like. So trust that.
Wow, wow. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you so much for listening to Deconstruction Podcast. Your 5-star reviews really help us continue what we do. Please rate your listening experience, and let's keep building this beautiful community together. For exclusive access to more design content, visit thearchitecturalauthority.com or download our app from the App Store or Google Play. Until next time, stay creative.